Good. I don't want to talk now. Now that we're testing, I'm just going to be quiet.
Fuck you.
No!
Hey, everybody. We're the worst podcast in the world. Please love us.
It's funny, I was listening to the Smoshcast, they were like, I wonder if there is a worse podcast in the world. I'm like, just don't look at Castaway Brothers. But it's like,
I don't think we're that bad.
We're actually really not. But like,
I know. We're funny.
It was, because they're like, how would you even find the worst? And like, is there The Room of podcasts?
Just has Tommy Wiseau's podcast.
Hello. Oh, I can't remember.
Hi, Mark.
Hello there. This is my podcast. What do you want to talk about?
Nobody else in the room or anything. No, just trying to have a conversation with the listeners.
I want to talk about, I was at the store earlier, and they had a sale for pizza rolls, 2 for 1. I got pizza rolls. I don't know. It's a terrible impression. I haven't listened to him enough to.
Hey everybody, I'm Andrew.
Wait, what? No.
I just loved it so much. I was like, I kind of want this to be the opening now.
Oh my god.
We don't have to. I can delete.
Oh my gosh.
But I gotta go back and listen to this first off because we haven't even listened to the level.
And I guess I'm Adam.
And I'm Batman.
Oh my god. So apparently we're keeping in the sound test that we were doing because of my great...
I offered to delete it. We can start over.
No, it was good. I'm hilarious. Welcome back to the Castaway Brothers podcast.
Woo!
We have professionalism.
We are just the best.
And I think this is... Yeah, once again, we're recording in a different spot. Because everything changes and everything, the world hates
We've had
us.
a lot going on lately. Both of us have been moving and stuff, and just we're trying to find a good place where we're not having to drive like 30 minutes to one way or the other to be able to record, and find a place that's going to be quiet enough to do this. We're doing our best, and I want to go ahead and apologize in advance if you start hearing dogs whining in the background, because his roommate's... I think I heard him. His roommate's dog is... very needy for attention. Maybe it won't pick up until he gets really loud.
Yeah, he'll get loud enough for it to pick up. But, I was going to say something else and I completely forgot. That's fun. Yeah, hopefully the acoustics are a little bit better in this room than they were in the, in the last one.
Sorry, I saw one of your things I forgot you had. I was like, whoa!
We're literally in my room. He's like, oh, what's this?
But, in my defense, it's a Legend of Zelda belt buckle, and I forgot that you had that, and I was like, yo.
That's fair. But, yeah, the acoustics, like, going back and listening to the last podcast, the acoustics were not great. It was very echoey.
Of course, I was listening to it with our friend Angela, Fictional Fangirl. Go check out her channel. It's hilarious, especially the videos with us in it.
I love that Aaron called that out at the end of it. Angela, when you listen to this, hi.
She loved it. But I was listening to it with her, and, like, we sat there and we're listening for a good 30 minutes, and finally I was just like, this echo is killing me. She's like, I forgot that it was there until you mentioned it. I didn't even notice. And I was like, well, I did. It's killing me.
Yeah.
The acoustics were awful, but that was such a good trip.
It was very good.
It was great.
Probably my favorite podcast we've ever done.
Oh, yeah. I loved having Abby and Aaron on, and I absolutely want to have them on again whenever we can. Whether together or separately, one at a time or whatever. I'm still absolutely willing to have them on the podcast anytime they want to be on the podcast, because that was so much fun. Also, they're, family, and there's not much we can do about that.
Is your leg on the table making noise?
I don't.
Okay, I saw it move once, and I just in my head, just going like, "Oh no!"
I have no idea.
All right, well, if there's weird creaks and
take
moans,
my leg off the
I
table.
think it's good as long as you don't move it too much.
Okay.
But I know my chair is already making noise. Anyways, we've been... Eventually, we're going to finally get to the one that we were planning on doing, because we were planning on doing that before Avatar, and then we were going to do it this time, but...
Yeah, every time I suggest it, you keep suggesting other things that I'm happy to do, and whatever gets you to record a podcast sooner. That's the second time today that I've said record a rodcast. And Rodcast, Raggy.
But
that peaked so bad.
I've been really in because
sorry,
that
probably made noise.
Because of DC Fandom, the basically little DC live stream event where they released a bunch of new trailers, bunch of announcements and stuff like that. I've been really in a Batman mood.
Yes!
So that's what we're talking about.
I'm totally
today.
not wearing a Batman shirt and gauges for this podcast. That's for sure.
I don't even know why you'd think that.
I don't know why you would think that. He says taking off the shirt and not wearing it. Just kidding. I'm keeping the shirt on.
This is the most rambly beginning I think we've ever had.
And it's funny, at least to us.
I mean, yeah.
And as long as we're having fun, isn't that what really matters?
Sure. Are you enjoying this 20 minutes of dead air? You're like, talk about Batman already.
5.5 minutes.
Oh my god. Alright, next podcast is going to be English lessons where I'm going to teach Andrew hyperbole. Anyways, Batman.
I'm sorry, that got me so good.
This is like the one I didn't write any notes for, and I really wish I had, because I don't know where to start on this.
We can start with the trailers that got us into this.
Yeah, let's talk about the most recent and stuff like that. So,
okay.
I'm going to talk about probably the one I have the least to say about. Well, there's a lot of them, because I'm not going to talk about every DC fandom one, but...
I've seen, like, the main three that I know we've talked about.
Which three were those?
Gotham Knights.
Right.
The Batman.
Right.
And Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
Okay, yeah, I'm probably going to talk about Suicide Squad one, because that has to do with a tangent of Batman, but
that's
not really
fair.
Batman.
Yeah, and I saw the teaser for Black Adam, and that's all I saw from fandom.
That one actually looked really
I just
good.
saw stuff that's been shared.
They released a trailer for the Snyder Cut of Justice League.
Yeah.
Which,
I'd heard that was coming out.
I'm very on the I am alone and I'm gonna die on this hill, but it's like it's not gonna be that great. It's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be fine.
I think it's just gonna have extra stuff in it.
That's and everyone is saying it's gonna be a completely new experience. It's gonna be it's gonna make the Justice League
Unless
great.
they do,
and I've heard that they're not using any of the same footage, which got me excited until I watched the trailer, and there's still some of the same shots, just reshot. Yeah. Because
so did they refilm Justice League?
Yeah, they're refilming it right now.
Oh,
it's gonna be on like HBO Max, I think, probably as either as a movie or a like miniseries. Which I'll be honest, if you have to make a miniseries out of your movie, it's too long. It's too long,
definitely.
And so I
didn't realize they were refilming. I thought it was just
here's the new scenes.
Well, I thought it was. Because we listened to Talk from Superheroes. Mm-hmm. I don't remember if you the
Batman v Superman extended thing.
Yeah,
Ultimate Edition
or whatever it's called. And Andrew Ivamy, one of the guys on there, who I highly recommend y'all go listen to that podcast.
Talk from Superheroes. It's really good,
fantastic. They did not sponsor us, but I don't know.
Of course they didn't sponsor us. We suck, and they don't have money. They need sponsors. Continue.
Anyway, he was saying at one point, like, he went back and took out all the unnecessary footage from Batman v Superman and Justice League.
It was Man of Steel and Batman v Superman.
Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. That's what it was. Okay, but they he mashed them into like one movie.
Yeah. One of his quotes is actually a lot of what I'm basing my opinion off of, which is, hey, if editing is a good thing, you need to cut things down, or else you're stuck with a lot of nothing. And that's
certain cases. Having extended edition is fine. Like Lord of the Rings.
Extended edition is good for. Did you enjoy the movie? Do you want to see more of this kind of movie?
Yes.
Here's the extended edition. That's why
we don't need the extended edition as a theatrical release.
Recommend watching Lord of the Rings extended on the first viewing.
No,
always watch theatrical on the
first
viewing.
As much as I love the extended edition because I own the entire trilogy, you don't start with the extended. You start and make sure they like it, and then go back, which is what I did with our friend Angela. Exactly. I showed her. I went through the original theatrical trilogy, and immediately after we finished Return of the King, so when can we start Fellowship Extended? And I was like, let's go.
And I've been talking with a coworker a lot who's very big fan of anything DC and especially Zack Snyder. He was basically saying that a lot of it was studio pressure. They're like, hey, you got to make it shorter. You got to do this, and they wouldn't let him. They didn't let him do certain things, especially on Batman v Superman. And I'm like, while I understand that sucks. That is on the director to decide then, all right, I have to make it an hour shorter. What do I take out what do I take out or change to make this movie still work? And if you can't do that, I'm sorry, you're not making a good movie.
No.
If it has to be 4 hours long, then you need to simplify it.
The only, I was okay with how long Endgame was, because it had been building up to that for a long time, and I know they still did edit things.
They still did edit things, and honestly, in my opinion, could have used a little more editing.
Probably, yeah.
There was a lot of the first 2 acts was like, all right, this could be a lot shorter.
Yeah, I feel like this could all kind of be mixed.
If they touch the third act, I would stab somebody. I would stab somebody.
The third act is so perfect.
It's so good.
We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, but also I think Endgame has.
I almost started talking about the movie, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, it has the it had 20-something movies behind it. It deserved to be like, okay, no, this is our finale of this saga. We're going out with a bang. Batman v Superman had Man of Steel behind it. That was it.
Yeah.
You don't get this entire legacy. You don't get to do that.
Also, the DCEU, when they were, if that's still a thing.
I don't even know if it is.
They were trying so hard to make a cinematic universe like the Marvel did with all these interconnected movies.
But also trying to distance themselves from Marvel.
And trying to distance themselves from Marvel, and tried to rush into it so fast without properly setting up each character and doing a proper bring the team together movie like they did in Avengers, that it didn't work. They tried to rush through everything. They didn't make a good Superman movie. They made a horrible Batman v Superman movie. Fight me. I do not like that movie.
I enjoy parts of it. There are it's a YouTube clip movie. I will watch the YouTube clips of it a lot, and it's it is nice to have a different version of Batman. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it is I do not care for.
When I look at it as more of almost an adaptation of, which is how I wanted to look at it at first, was of the Dark Knight Returns graphic novel that came out by I don't remember his name. Frank something.
Frank Miller?
Yeah, Frank Miller. Who, and I believe he did Killing Joke.
I think so.
He had some really good dark stuff, but by him, it's more true to that Batman, a older, grizzled, more I don't give a shit anymore Batman. Yeah. But the thing is, the movie before had just shown Superman's origin, and the movie after was setting up the Justice League, whereas it's supposed, if it's the Dark Knight Returns, it's a 50-year-old Batman, and all of that is past.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't make sense to me why they started with such an old Batman and why they tried to do... I like Batman and Superman team-ups. There was one, it was a crossover they did with Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series. It's
Batman Superman All-Star?
No, not All-Star. No. You were thinking of...
Superman All-Star.
All-Star Superman, which is one of the best Superman stories ever.
Is that the one where he kind of just finally goes nuts on that one guy? Where he lobotomizes him with his laser vision?
Maybe? I don't remember.
Because I remember...
It's the one where he's dying from radiation or something. I don't know. But, it was a 2-part episode in the Superman the Animated Series that Batman the Animated Series crossed over with.
Right.
And it's called the Batman Superman movie. That's what they called it when they released it on DVD and everything. And the Joker shows up in Gotham, or in Metropolis, excuse me, and starts talking to Lex yo, pay me $1 billion, I will kill Superman. And Lex is you're fucking insane. And he pulls out this huge chunk of kryptonite that was carved into a dragon called the Jade Dragon. It's beautiful. And he's I have this. I hear he doesn't like this. And he's just
one of my favorite
all right, let's see what you can do. And then Batman comes over. But it's a great team up.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite lines from that is in that exchange between Lex and Joker, where he's why would I trust you to kill a god when you can't handle a mere mortal? And he gets in his face there is nothing mere about that mortal.
There is nothing mere about Batman, you insignificant fuck!
And I
meant to say ignorant, and I said insignificant, but oh well.
It's there.
I think we might need that English lesson, Adam.
We may need that English lesson.
Call back! Anyway.
But they're serious.
Yep.
Yeah, you can definitely hear him. I apologize. Can you pause the recording for a second?
Yeah.
Alright, sorry about that. But back on kind of what we were originally there is the DC fandom, because we got on a weird tangent there. Next...
Oh, yeah, because we were talking about... it was still all related.
It was all related.
I didn't like Batman v Superman, and I usually like Batman Superman crossover, like
even if it is more verses and
even if it is more verses, it's still usually a good story. That had no good story.
The fight between Batman and Superman was really good.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it.
Batman uses guns and stuff in it,
which I think again talking to superheroes, they were talking about how to fix that fight and make like his gun thing better, and how he kind of just turns on a dime. Just we're best buddies now. Is instead of the kryptonite trident. I don't get that. Is a kryptonite bullet to where he aims it down. He aims the gun down. And and then you can still give the save Martha line, and that flashes back to realize, oh, I'm the thug in the alley.
Yeah, absolutely. Which, interestingly enough, I'm going to go off on a different little thing here for a second. Right. It is still Batman.
You're good.
When Batman was first published, in the golden age of Batman, from like 39 till almost 1960, Batman actually used guns and killed people.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know if any of our listeners knew that or not. I thought that was interesting.
Definitely
I also know
at least to see how much his character has changed.
Yeah, it was in the in Silver Age when they introduced that he did not like guns. Actually, once Robin was introduced, the guns were toned down some. He didn't kill anybody with a gun. He would still beat the shit out of them with it and shoot people. He would not specifically take someone's life with a gun. He still threw them out of windows and off of rooftops.
I mean, he still does that,
but not as lethally.
Sure. Just like how Spider-Man in the PS4 game doesn't kill them when he does it because it webs into a wall.
Duh. Anyway, sorry. Back to fandom for a minute, and then we'll get on to other random Batman stuff.
Yeah. So next trailer, since we're already there, The Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Pattinson.
Dang it. I always say Patterson. I don't know. But, I am really excited for this, and I think this is actually where we have differing opinions.
I'm excited for a new Batman movie that's not Ben Affleck.
Though Ben Affleck is a great Batman. I will definitely...
I didn't mind him as an older Batman. I didn't like what they did with him, with the guns and
nothing
all that.
that happened with that Batman was his fault. So it's like, I do enjoy him in Batman v Superman and Justice League. Mm-hmm. But continue.
I am hesitantly optimistic.
Yeah.
Because it did look like a good trailer. It almost looked like they were trying to be as dark as a Snyder film, but
like physically, where it's like, what am I looking at? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But for the most part, it looked good. I'm excited because it looks like it's going to have the Riddler in it,
which we've never seen on the big screen.
Yes, we have.
We have
Jim Carrey.
What am I doing?
We haven't seen portrayed well on the big screen.
I mean, fair, but then again, there's a lot of Batman villains we haven't seen portrayed well on the big screen.
I think Riddler, besides the Joker, because Joker's the most well-known, the best Batman villain, because everybody, even if you don't know much about Batman, you know who the Joker is.
Yeah.
Riddler is, other than Joker, my favorite villain from Batman, I think. I like that he challenges Batman's intellect more than just physicality. He's not the only villain to do that, granted, but he prefers the intellectual battlefield than the physical. Not that he hasn't killed people from time to time and everything.
No, he does, but
he's actually he's a good villain when done right. When written right and done right. Like the original Hush storyline, he's done well because he's masterminding everything.
Is he? I thought that was all
Tommy, whatever his name is.
I don't remember. Batman's old friend.
Yeah, he is Hush, but he's working with the Riddler, and Riddler is kind of almost controlling.
Helping him mess with Batman's mind. And
then they end up consorting and getting like everybody from Batman's rogues gallery to come after.
Because I remember Clayface was a big part of it.
Yeah. In the original storyline, they made Clayface look like Jason Todd, and that fucked Batman up for a little bit. But Riddler was like very masterminding that whole thing for a while.
Oddly enough, I think I'm gonna let you get back to that.
Yeah.
I think my favorite villain is actually the exact opposite, where he challenges Batman's brawn, and that's Bane.
Hell yeah! Which people forget, Bane is a genius.
Yeah, Bane
he is actually very
that's
strong
why
intellectually.
I like him so much, is because he isn't. He is just. I am dumb muscle. Here, punch.
But he's also not like, I'm clearly smarter than you, Batman. Solve my riddles. You can't. You're not. You did it.
He's not on his own pedestal when it comes to his intellect. He's like, I am a clever man. I am able to come up with a lot of I'm able to mastermind a few things. Push comes to shove, I'll beat you up.
He isn't very boastful about his intellect. He doesn't. He doesn't try to make a big show of how smart he is. He's just like, yeah, I'm smart. I'm going to use it. I'm not going to be in your face about it because I'm going to, hit you when you're not looking, essentially, type thing. And he went on to break Batman's back and put him out of commission for like a year. And then he still wasn't fully recovered when he went back to being Batman.
Right, which led to Dick Grayson's first stint as Batman.
No.
Yes. I actually just listened to a podcast about it. It was because it was another guy, and then Batman came back.
It was the guy that's Azrael, which I know some people call Asbats. Yeah.
Okay, because I had heard it was another name
before he became Azrael.
Okay, before got it. Yeah, because he had that Nightfall suit. Actually looks pretty dope.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, and then Batman's like, "Oh, you're not doing it. Sit."
Yeah, and I think it was before he became Azrael. He may have taken a break. I don't know. I just know that another podcast I listened to, which a geek history lesson I introduced you to. They do a lot of stuff, and they talk about the comic history and timeline of characters, which is really cool. They call him Asbats.
Okay,
because he's Azrael, but also he takes up as Batman. And his name's John something. I don't remember his name.
Yeah. But after that, I remember they were talking, because I was listening to one on Nightwing, and they were talking about how basically Bruce came back and was like, "You got to stop," and forced him to stop. But it was also like, "Yeah, no, I'm still not tip top, Dick."
Yeah,
you got it, man.
Yeah, I forgot about that, so I apologize. But back to the Batman. Sorry.
Right.
I love when Riddler is done well and truly challenges Batman intellectually, because you get to see the more detective side of Batman than you do against Bane or the Joker, where of course the Joker is just like, what is the Joker doing?
Who knows? He doesn't know.
I got to figure out a way to stop this. It's just like, this is chaos. I got to bring order, and then I am really looking forward to hopefully seeing a really well done detective Batman. And we know there's still going to be some fighting. We saw that in the trailer. That's one thing I am a little unsure about. Were you about to say something?
Yes.
Okay.
That's you bringing up I hope we see a good detective. That's actually what I'm really excited about this movie. While we see one action scene, it does not look like it's going to be an action heavy movie. It looks like we're going to see the detective mind at work.
That's what I want.
And that is the perfect villain to do so, is Riddler.
Along with a few others. But
I mean, I know Penguin will be in there, but like...
Is Penguin going to be in there?
I think Penguin's in there, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
you
Catwoman.
You catch a glimpse of him in the trailer. Catwoman, I'm cool with Catwoman to be in it.
I'm
not a big fan of her costume, but it's...
Yeah, the costume I didn't like. Maybe that's the first meeting and she'll update her costume during the movie.
I'm cool with that. I'm also cool if she doesn't, because it also seems like this is I'm not
like
this big-time super criminal. I'm a thief. I'm a thief right now. This is what I got.
Yeah.
And I just happen to look like a cat.
But I'm not sure how to feel about Catwoman, because you barely see her. She's just like,
exactly.
Like staring at Batman, and then it cuts to the next thing, and I'm like, maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't. Yeah. As long as it's not Halle Berry. Whew.
I'm keeping an open mind, because, again, you can't tell anything.
I didn't realize. I need to watch the trailer again. I didn't realize that Penguin was in.
You may not have seen him in the trailer. I know there's at least been announced, and you see it. They've released a still of him.
Oh,
so maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But he may be in the trailer.
Is it more like a top hat?
I'll look it up in a second.
Okay. Because where I did like the look of him in Gotham, the show.
Yeah.
It was actually a good look. I love the classic purple top hat. Penguin, short guy, long nose, the Burgess Meredith.
Exactly.
From 66, who actually I think that may be my favorite incarnation of the Riddler, as well as the Frank Gorshin from Batman the movie, and I think there were... Actually, I heard there were a few... He was mainly the Riddler in that. There were a few episodes where, there are a few episodes here and there where he wasn't able to do it for some reason, and they didn't have any problem using a different actor for, one episode or whatever.
Right.
Because there were, 3 different women that played Catwoman throughout the show.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But Sean Astin's father, who was Gomez in the original Addams Family, played the Riddler.
What?
He was the Riddler in a few episodes in Batman 66. I found that out recently. I was like, no way. It made me very, very happy. But I love the Frank Gorshin Batman 66 Riddler. I love his energy. I love his kind of, while still being very clever, and with the Riddler, as clever as he could be in 66, he's still very clearly crazy a little bit.
Yeah.
And I like how it mixes the crazy with the genius of him. I liked seeing it was a good balance, I thought, in that show. There could be better writing nowadays, but I would like to see kind of a nice little mixture. I actually also found out that the Riddler actually went on to be somewhat of an anti-hero at one point.
Really?
He actually, there was one point he forgot who he was or something.
That sounds about right.
I don't remember, but he was still learned who he was and was still trying to do good and like clear his name a little bit. Mm-hmm. He actually started working with GCPD and helping solve crimes as kind of a...
it's fine.
Lucifer, like a consultant.
Yeah,
You've seen Lucifer.
Okay, yeah.
He does that. It starts doing that at one point and is really, really cool. I thought that was interesting. But
I looked it up. The Penguin in the Batman, it's kind of his outfit looks like it's very Penguin, but he looks kind of normal. It looks like he's got
looks
some
a little more modern. He doesn't have a long nose and everything.
He has a bigger nose, but definitely not a Penguin nose.
Yeah.
But it looks good.
Yeah, it's not bad. I've seen worse. Danny DeVito.
Performance is really good, though.
Yeah.
It's just, to be fair, they were going for a really weird tone in that one. So
it was
like,
Tim Burton.
Yeah,
so, I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I am... back to that action scene real quick. I'm sorry, guys. I know we keep getting off track, but...
Oh, my gosh. Continue.
If you're still here at this point, it's because you like listening to us, and in that case, deal with it. Love you. Please don't leave. I liked the action scene of it. What little bit we saw to a certain point.
At first, whenever he's just countering everything and just almost beating this guy with his own fist.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Very Batman, and I loved it. I was like, all right, I like this. He knocks him on the ground. I'm like, all right, and he does the one punch. I'm like,
final
okay.
punch to knock him out.
I'm like, all right, cool. He did one more punch. I'm like, that's fine, because it's to make sure he's down. You do that in the Arkham games.
Yeah. That's a Batman move.
It's a Batman move. I'm okay with that. He's just like, boom, he's incapacitated. Next guy, until he did like 2 more punches, and I was like, why? He's clearly already out of commission. There was no need for that. That felt less Batman. Batman as we know him today.
Yeah. Which, honestly...
Unless this is after Jason Todd's death. When Batman doesn't have a Robin, he is more violent and more of a dick. When he has a Robin, they help balance him out.
Right.
So if this is like between Robins or before Dick Grayson, if this isn't early Batman... I can forgive it a little bit. But if this is supposed to be an experienced Batman, it feels a little excessive to me. That being said, I'm still going to go see this movie. I'm actually not hating Robert Pattinson from the trailer as Batman.
I'm excited. He looks great.
That I make up.
I love it. I love it. It looks so much like an emo boy.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
What did you think of the line... I am vengeance.
I kind of liked it.
I did too.
All right, cool. Because I was about to say, like, it could easily. I was expecting I'm Batman, and it's like here we go.
It's a typical Batman thing, especially if it's supposed to be like, which them asking what are you or whatever makes me believe this is an early Batman, which I'm okay with. Like Batman Begins did it pretty well,
as long as it's not like an origin story.
Yeah, I don't need an origin story. Like early years Batman, I'm fine with. I don't want it starting off with his parents being killed.
We will definitely see that at some point.
Maybe. If they do it kind of like they did in 89 Batman, I would be okay. Because it's just sprinkled. It shows somebody being... It starts out, you think it's his origin story. They're coming out of a theater. So they get shot, the kid lives, you see the guy running off, and then you see Batman up on the roofs getting ready to go down and take out those thugs, or whatever. And it's like, oh, that's not his parent. Okay, and then later on, you don't find out until Joker, and when they're in Vicky Vale's apartment, when he says, you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? And you see Bruce Wayne, Michael Keaton's face, be like, what? like a recognition thing, and you're like, what the hell is this? And then he gets like shot, and he had the little plate in there, the dish thing, and so it saved him. And then it does a flashback to him seeing this guy go, you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? And then he kills Thomas and Martha.
I forgot about that.
And then it's like, which is great as a movie storytelling. I don't like it in the comics when Joker had anything to do with Batman's parents' death. In the movie, it kind of made sense. I didn't mind it. Where they created each other, which is interesting.
Which is actually very interesting that you bring that up, because in the Joker movie, I don't think you've seen that, have you? All right,
no, I have not.
Do you mind if I spoil it?
Go ahead. I'll end up watching it eventually.
It's not my favorite. I think it's a good movie, but it's just like it's probably just not for me.
Right.
He kind of causes their death, because a lot of what kind of drives him in saying this is also going to be a lot of spoilers for Joker, so skip ahead a little bit if you don't want to hear. What kind of pushes him over is his mom. The news is praising Thomas Wayne as this wonderful savior, this great person, and his mom is always like, they're in very like financial trouble.
Right.
He's living
poverty.
with his mom. Yeah, they're poverty. It's not great, and she's like, I've been writing letters to Mr. Wayne. He's going to help us, and he doesn't. Some stuff kind of comes out, and he's like, because basically, she claims that Joker, I don't remember if they ever give him his actual name, but is Thomas Wayne's son. That, because she used to work as a maid for them, and that they were secretly in love, but when she got pregnant, he had to send her away.
And of course, Thomas Wayne denies this.
Yeah, of course he does.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, he denies it. The film, I think, ends up leaning towards, no, his mom was crazy.
And he gets it from her.
No, exactly incorrect. But, so it's kind of, Thomas Wayne ends up creating Joker, and Joker, through you've seen the thing, you get what you fucking deserve, and shoots the guy, starts riots on the street. Riots that, as Thomas Wayne is a public figure right now, is very concerned of his safety, cuts through an alley. One of the rioters follows them in.
Oh, wow.
So, while it's not him, his movement, the Joker starting all this...
His involvement was...
Started Batman.
I actually like that.
That was the part
cool.
I actually really did like.
I'm okay with, as long as he wasn't directly involved.
Exactly.
As long as he didn't kill Thomas and Martha.
I agree. Yeah,
it's whatever. But
Joker spoilers over.
Yeah. We were talking about if they do, because we were talking about the Batman, we talked about how as long as it's not an origin story, if it comes up, I hope they do it somewhat like they do in Michael Keaton's Batman 89, excuse me.
Yeah, like bringing up his origin, that's fine. Mm-hmm. We gotta act like people haven't seen this stuff before. We absolutely have.
Everyone knows Batman's backstory. That's the thing. Like Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Like those two, you don't have to do origin stories for anymore.
But you're still remiss if you do not mention Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the entire scene. You don't have to do everything.
Which they did
but
really
it's like
well in Homecoming and everything. They did not, they didn't do the origin. They never flashed back to it. He mentioned Uncle Ben, or somebody mentioned Uncle Ben once.
He
or
and Aunt
whatever.
May talked about it once. They were like, she was just like.
Which also another touch I love is in Far From Home, the initials on his suitcase that he takes are.
FBP.
FBP.
Franklin.
BF.
Benjamin Franklin
Parker.
I love that.
It was Uncle Ben's suitcase, and it touched me. But yeah, we're talking about Batman, not Spider-Man.
Right. So it's like if you talk about his parents being dead, all his stuff, that's fine. That's cool. I love it. Do not
Don't make
start
an origin
there.
story.
Do not I'm building up because it looks like he's already working with the police. Yeah. So it's like just
which adds to the detective element too,
exactly,
because you work with police as a detective. Police do detective work, and him working as a detective, not only to help himself and stop everything, but he does it to help the police most of the time in the comics. Everything anyway. He may be vigilante, but he still does his best to help the police find the person, and so they can get back into Arkham, which has the worst security ever.
I'm not talking about that right now.
Anyway,
but I will give the extra punch as a slide without knowing context. It could have just been something went down. He's angry because of something, and it's like that was him slipping for a second.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm not putting him on the chopping block yet. I agree though, it feels a little too violent for Batman.
Yeah, I'm not ready to dismiss it.
At least he's not driving a tank though. That's all I'm saying.
Does it show the Batmobile in this
It does.
one?
It kind of just looks like a muscle car with a big thruster behind it, which I actually really dig the design.
I like it more when it looks like a car and is not an actual fucking
exactly.
tank.
It's, I gave a little bit of leeway for Batman v Superman because it's like, all right, it's still an interesting design. Batman Begins is a giant tank. I am
the
not
Dark
a
Knight
fan
trilogy.
of that.
It's a tank. In Arkham Knight, it's a tank. I'm done with the tank battle. It was fun for like one time, and it was like, okay, that's cool. Other than that,
I definitely agree.
Okay, he's showing me a picture.
Yeah. Because especially
I like it. I don't mind it.
It's very minimalistic, which I think is
which
I think
is one of the
works for this
things that people love so much about the animated series Batmobile and the Michael Keaton Batmobile. It didn't have all these like bat wings sticking up off of it, spines. It didn't look phallic like Batman and Robin. It wasn't a tank. It was very minimalistic and sleek and very easy to believe that is Batman's vehicle. He can use that. It's very easy to not be noticed. It's just a black streak that goes by you. It's not like, oh, that was clearly a tank, or that was clearly the Batmobile. It's like, what the fuck was that black thing that just zoomed by us at 300 miles an hour?
And that makes sense.
Which I love.
Back on Arkham Knight, like, the most unbelievable thing for me was there was a bunch of, like, remote-controlled, like, drone tank things that you would
unmanned
have to...
vehicles.
Unmanned vehicles, thank you. They would have to...
I use air quotes on unmanned.
But, like, you would have to, like, switch into your tank mode to shoot them all with your cannon on the Batmobile. For a man that doesn't kill, you need a very specific set of circumstances to need a cannon on your Batmobile.
I get when they try to make it a little more realistic. Yeah, he would want to have weapons and guns, but he's still a comic book character. If he doesn't use guns, find a clever way to do it. Don't just put a cannon on there and be like, oh, they're unmanned vehicles. Find a more clever...
There are at least 3 segments with 20 of those. I'm sorry, that's way too many.
Exactly. Like, find a clever way to make it a non-lethal weapon. Have it EMP...
I was just about to say EMP shots.
Like a grenade launcher that uses EMP grenades. Or just have a battering launcher on the thing that just disables their weapons or something. It's Batman. I even loved in the Michael Keaton Batman when it shot the grappling hook.
To do the tight turn?
To do the tight turn.
That was so cool!
Drifts are cool, but having a little grappling hook to grab people or to do a tight turn or something on there, that's awesome. Stop making it just fucking guns.
It's
like, god damn it. I'm sorry.
They also, I think, did a lot of in Batman v Superman, so it's not surprising.
I'm good.
But yeah, no, I am excited for the Batman. It looks very good.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you wanted to say about it?
I don't think so.
Okay. Can we talk about what we are super excited about now?
Go for it. Oh my gosh, that peaked.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Gotham Knights!
Alright, so basically, if you haven't seen that, it's a... I don't want to say an Arkham game, because the more I look at it, it looks like it's actually starting to diverge from it.
It's not the creators of the Arkham.
It's creators of Arkham Origins.
Is it?
Yes. WB Montreal.
Oh, okay. I know the creators of the other Arkham games are doing the Suicide Squad.
Right, which is
why
really
it's
good.
Very similar control and gameplay and everything from what it looks like, but with different characters.
But Gotham Knights...
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Basically, following the events of the last Arkham game, Bruce Wayne / Batman are quote-unquote dead.
How did Arkham Knight end?
Okay, so basically
I watched you play some. I don't know if you ever finished it. I never caught the ending because I didn't want to spoil it.
I think it was... I don't know if it was Riddler or Scarecrow. It was Scarecrow. He basically came back...
Another one of my top Batman villains.
He came back, and thanks to the exploits of the Arkham Knight, it was just Jason. I'm still mad about that.
Yeah, I wish they would have made it a new character or something. But
yeah.
I think they were trying to tie it into comics or something. It would have
been really interesting if it was Damian.
That would have been interesting.
But anyways, after basically once he finds out it's Jason, I'm not gonna say reconcile. He beats the crap out of him, I think. But Jason
beats the crap out of Jason.
Yeah,
Jason okay. I assumed, but you never know.
But with his info and everything, because the Arkham Knight knew who he was and was working with Scarecrow, Scarecrow is able to exploit him. He knows who he is. Bruce Wayne, basically, I don't remember exactly, but basically, all hell breaks loose. There is warring in the streets of Gotham. He takes down Scarecrow, but knows that people are just going to keep coming for him. And so ends up initiating Nightfall Protocol, where...
Oh, Nightfall! That's a big storyline, which is actually where Bane breaks his back.
Exactly.
In that Nightfall,
it has nothing to do with that.
I assume not, but there's...
But that's where, I don't remember what the three are called, but that's where Azrael takes over Batman.
Yeah, okay. As bats.
But...
Okay, I'm trying... I don't remember. There's like 3 different storylines that are kind of all connected, and they all start with Nightfall... And I don't remember the other 2, but they're like really good storylines.
None of them are Nightwing, so I don't care. Anyways, there are reporters outside of Wayne Mansion as the bat plane like lands like kind of in it / on it. You see Batman walk inside as everybody's kind of going crazy, and the mansion explodes.
Oh, I knew the mansion exploded
with Batman
because
inside.
that's how the next one starts. Gotham Knights starts with the mansion exploding, and they're all getting Bruce Wayne's final...
They're getting a thing like,
his last will and testament almost to each of them.
The way it's worded, too, if you get this message, that means I'm gone.
I thought he said dead.
I can't remember. I want to say gone, but...
It's Batman. He's not going to be gone.
But basically, he sends out a message for each of his... For the 4 of his proteges / Bat family. Nightwing, Red Hood, Robin, and Batgirl. And basically, it's a 2-player co-op Arkham game.
Better be Tim Drake, Robin.
The more I look into it, the more it's Tim Drake.
I really hope it is. I'm not against Damian. He's just kind of my least favorite of the Robins, just because he always has such a bad attitude. He's such a dick.
It will not surprise me.
He is very clearly Bruce Wayne's son.
Nightwing's a dick.
Adam, I hate you.
I'm sorry.
No, I need you to feel this glare. I need all of our listeners to feel the glare I'm giving you right now. Fuck you, but you're right.
It will not surprise me if Damian is DLC.
That would be okay with.
That would be easy to drop in other Bat Family people like that, and I actually really enjoy that.
Since we're talking about Bat Family real quick, we'll get back to Gotham Knights because I am super excited, but I want to know, I already know this, but some of our listeners probably don't.
Dick Grayson.
Is your favorite member of the Bat Family?
My favorite member of the Bat Family is Nightwing. Anybody that knows me, I love Nightwing. He is my favorite.
He's the best Robin, for sure.
He is my favorite Robin, the OG. Nightwing is a great hero that touches on everything that makes Batman great and gets rid of a lot of what
Grayson
doesn't.
is one of the greatest comic book characters ever, if not the greatest. He single-handedly saved comics, essentially. Anyway, he made comics so popular.
And we also got to see him grow up, which we almost never get to see in comics because either it gets rebooted, they die and then come back at a younger age because comics are fucking weird.
But he's not my favorite Robin. I think he is the best Robin. Mm-hmm. I think he and Batman were the best dynamic duo. Mm-hmm. He is Robin, and he's so great. At the very least,
for cultural impact, he was the most important Robin.
I think Tim Drake was the best at being Robin. I think he
perfected Robin.
He perfected Robin. I think he executed how Robin is supposed to be the best. I think was better at stealth. He was the most Batman-like Robin there was. He meshed with Batman the best as far as teamwork and everything goes. I think Dick Grayson brought out the best in Batman, though, because he was lighthearted and made it more enjoyable for Batman and Bruce Wayne, and he was a good contrast and kind of helped kept Bruce Wayne grounded, and everything. Where Tim is a little more brooding, like Batman.
Still not as lighthearted.
He's not as brooding as Damian,
which is actually a fun thing. Because for a while Batman is quote unquote dead, and he's traveling through time. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
He meets Jonah Hex.
We're just not talking about
I think he meets Jonah Hex during that point. I know he does it a couple different times.
Anyways,
sorry.
But Dick Grayson becomes Batman for a while, and they find out about Damian Wayne, Batman's legitimate son. illegitimate, but whatever. His biological son. That's the word I'm looking for. But so it's actually a really cool role reversal of where Batman is the jokey, kind of jovial one, and Robin is
witty
the brooding,
and everything. And Robin is brooding asshole.
And it's actually that works really well for that dynamic. And then they bring Batman back, and it's just two brooding assholes.
Yeah, but Tim Drake is my favorite Robin. I love him because first off, Damian is not the heir to the Wayne family fortune. Mm-hmm. Tim Drake is. Tim Drake's legal name at this point is Timothy Jackson Drake Wayne.
Right, he was the only one adopted
Bruce Wayne adopted Dick Grayson as his ward, but Dick Grayson did not want to take his last name in memory of his.
He did not want to replace his father.
He didn't want to replace his father. He did his, He respected, he loved his family, which, he
had almost like, unlike most Robins, he had a life before he was Robin. Because Jason, he stole stuff.
His dad was a criminal, his mother died. He ended up having no one.
He didn't really have a life. Tim Drake was beginning to...
I don't think Batman ever actually adopted Jason
I don't think so
Todd either.
But I don't think Tim Drake... And Tim Drake was basically trying to figure out who Batman was since, like, age 5. Something like that. So it's like, that was his entire life, pretty much. Dick Grayson was, like, 10 or 12 whenever his parents died. So he actually had a life before.
Maybe 11.
Yeah.
10 to 12, yeah. You said
until they rebooted and he was 16, but we're not talking about that.
Yeah,
But, he, So, yeah, he didn't want to dishonor his father because he loved him and it was tragic.
And kept his own name, and it was just Bruce Wayne's ward.
Yeah.
And, I mean, still loved Bruce Wayne like a father. Bruce Wayne loved him like a son.
They are father and son, just not legally.
Yeah. Whereas Tim Drake actually... both his parents were still alive when he became Robin.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I have not heard a lot about Tim Drake's backstory.
I was waiting to see your reaction. That's why I didn't say anything for a second, because I wanted to see if you knew that or not. His parents were still alive not long after he became... Well, Tim Drake had a genius IQ level at the age of 9.
Yeah.
At the age of, 11 or something like that, he had figured out who Batman and Robin were, because he was actually at Haley's Circus when the Flying Graysons died.
How old was he?
Very young, 5.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no.
Because I was like...
Teeny tiny Tim.
I was thinking 9...
Teeny tiny Tim.
That's actually hilarious. I was thinking 9 or 11. I'm like, that does not line up whatsoever, but hey, we're here.
No. But he was a fucking genius. He was there when it happened and immediately started following... Because, right after that, Dick Grayson became Robin not long after that. And he was fascinated with Batman and Robin and followed their heroics and everything. And... After a while, on a news broadcast or something, they were showing footage of... He saw footage of Batman and Robin and saw Robin pull off a move that as far as he knew, only Dick Grayson had ever pulled off before in his time as one of the Flying Graysons, which was a quadruple somersault. Which, when you say it out loud, doesn't seem that impressive when you're an acrobat and flying through the air and have time to do 4 flips before doing anything.
Maybe it was over a short distance. Who knows?
It might have been. I don't know. It may have been a complicated maneuver the way he did it. I don't know. But Dick Grayson's the only person he had ever seen, and I guess matched age-wise, to pull off a quadruple somersault.
Wow, that would take a very talented acrobat. Huh, he's pretty young. Click. Oh!
But figured out that Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne were,
Yeah, because once you figure out Dick Grayson is Robin, it's not hard to figure out who Batman is.
That is very fair. But he found that out, he watched Dick Grayson grow up and go off and become Nightwing. Mm-hmm. He knew Dick Grayson was Nightwing from the beginning. And saw, I don't know if I assume saw Jason Todd as Robin for a while, and then...
The comic continuity really likes to sweep Jason Todd under the rug.
A little, until he becomes Red Hood, excuse me.
Because they like to be like, here's Dick Grayson, here's Tim... There was one in between, don't worry about him. Here's Tim Drake, and it's like, no, don't... I don't like that. They don't, Young Justice, I think, does it the best, because it's like, okay, no, there is a large time skip where this would make sense where he died.
Yeah.
But a lot
between
of times...
season 1 and 2, it's been 8 years... 5 years, something like that. Plenty of time for a Robin to come and die.
And then have another one.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely don't like how much they're like, he was Robin for 2 solid weeks, and now he's dead. Tim Drake.
Now Tim Drake the best Robin.
I definitely think
the best Robin. No, I'm kidding.
I definitely think that Jason Todd is probably one of the worst Robins as Robin.
As Robin, yeah.
He was fine.
I'm trying to remember who put it that way. It was either in one of the comics, either Bruce or Alfred said, talking about Tim Drake, because Dick saw it as a thrill. Mm-hmm. Being Robin was a thrill to him, and that ended. He moved on. Jason saw it as a game.
Okay.
Tim will go on to surpass all of them. Is basically what was said to him. He takes it seriously. He is fully invested in being Robin, mm-hmm. and he is just the best at being Robin.
Right.
But Dick Grayson's still the best Robin ever.
Yeah. Jason. I unfortunately I do think that's where his story really gets interesting is when he becomes Red Hood.
Did you know that Jason Todd actually beats the shit out of Tim Drake when he first comes back? In like a Teen Titans.
When Tim Drake comes back?
When Jason Todd comes back.
I did not know that.
He first comes back. He's pissed to find out that
there's another Robin.
There's another Robin. He goes and beats the shit out of him with a crowbar, I believe it was.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's like, you don't deserve this. That shit, you took my spot. I was Robin. You shouldn't be that. And Tim's just like, before passing out, you're right. You shouldn't have been forgotten. You were worth remembering, and passes out. And because of that, Jason allows him to live. And he and Tim actually end up having a decent friendship in the comics and everything because of that. They actually work together
That's
several
actually
times.
One thing I was going to bring up is my favorite part of the Bat family is literally when you take out Batman. And that feels like a dick thing to say, but like seeing all these characters... Huh?
What?
Fucking hell.
Brought it back on you, motherfucker.
That's fair. If anybody didn't hear, he said a Nightwing thing to say. But, like, because honestly, we know how all of them interact with Batman. There's a lot of smarm and a lot of sass put back at him. But in the end, you're a father figure to me, and I respect you.
Yeah.
Seeing how they all interact with each other is incredibly interesting. Like, Nightwing and Dick are...
That is the same person.
Dick and Tim are very good brothers. They get along a lot.
They have a good brotherly bond. Tim gets along with just about all of them, honestly.
Tim's a little cinnamon bun.
He's a cinnamon bean bun.
I think Jason and Dick butt heads a lot, if I remember correctly. They butt heads, but
they're able to work together when it comes to it.
They work together pretty well, but it's just...
They do butt heads. I know Jason tried to take over as Nightwing at one point while Bruce, Dick, and Tim went off and were doing something. And Bloodhaven was destroyed in one story arc. And
I don't know if that had to do with Jason or not.
That didn't have to do with Jason, but it was destroyed. And so Nightwing actually moved to New York for a little while. And he comes back to New York and finds Jason being Nightwing. And he's like...
No.
I got it from here, thanks. And then they fight. But
because it is a lot of they butt heads because while Dick is definitely the oldest... Jason feels a lot of times like the most mature. Mature is a strong word because he's been through so much crap.
Yeah.
So it's like they butt heads, but at the same time, Dick does know, hey, I gotta be careful with you. Mm-hmm. You're a not a basket case, but you're a
Do you have it? Don't copyright.
You've got problems, so I'm gonna help. And then one that's actually really interesting to me is Dick and Damian.
They butt heads so
bad, but that's because Damian doesn't like how much he respects Dick. Because I've actually watched a lot of things where it's like anytime Damian gets mad at Bruce, he usually ends up going to Dick.
Oh yeah,
because he is the Batman that he started with.
Dick. Well, yes, and Dick was with Batman for so long. He's the most used to dealing with
Batman the longest out of any of the Robins.
Did he start with Dick?
I think Damian
started... I thought he was with Bruce for a little bit, and then Bruce, quote-unquote, died, and then Dick took over.
I don't think so.
I want to say yes.
I'll look it up later, but
that may be true. He may have taken over as Robin during Battle for the Cowl.
I think he did, because because
I know Tim left and became Red Robin.
Right. So that would line up.
Because Tim was the only one. Tim found some evidence in Wayne Manor somewhere pointing to Bruce still being alive. Didn't share it with anybody. It was like, no, he's still alive. And everybody's like, nah, he's fucking dead. He's like, no, he's still alive. And leaves to find.
Bye!
I think Alfred also found some evidence too. I don't remember if he shared it with anybody.
Fair.
But what were we saying? Damien also has this thing where I know at least at one point he wants to prove that he is the best Robin.
Right.
He wants to prove that he's better than the other Robins until Dick just goes like, "You're Robin. You're wearing the costume. That's enough. You don't have to prove anything."
Yeah, we don't. Nobody cares. And most of what I'm talking is like after that, kind of where the comics are now. What was I gonna say? I don't remember.
I don't know. Sorry.
But yeah, no. And then just there's also still the Batgirls. Barbara Gordon, the best Batgirl, should have stayed as Oracle.
Yeah, absolutely. I liked who she was better as Oracle. I like what she represented. It was fantastic. Of course, that was actually supposed to be non-canon. Her getting paralyzed and Killing Joke was not supposed to be canon. Because, well, first off, Killing Joke, Joker shows up at Jim Gordon's apartment, shoots Batgirl in the spine, paralyzing her, and then may or may not have
died,
raped her.
Oh, right.
And took pictures of it. And then goes to Commissioner Gordon, tortures him with pictures of his daughter, paralyzed, bleeding out, and having may or may not have been raped.
Pretty much stark naked, at least. Pretty
much, then he and his goons rape Commissioner Gordon.
I did not know about that part.
It's heavily implied. It's not outright, but it is pretty heavily implied that they rape Commissioner Gordon as well. It's a fucked up scene, but that is now canon because somebody else introduced her in a wheelchair, and in Suicide Squad was the first place she popped up as Oracle. She starts out doing
popped up in Oracle in something else that was also like Oracle was a long time running thing. Like it was somebody
before
that was
it was Barbara Gordon.
Before it was Barbara Gordon, it was something. Well, not necessarily, but it was a. It kept popping up in something in somewhere where it was just this person that was helping somebody. I don't remember who specifically, and then it ended up revealing at some point they decided it's Barbara.
Okay,
I think, but
I don't know.
What I think happened is they still made Killing Joke non-canon. It's its own side story, but she still did get paralyzed by who knows what.
But technically, it's canon.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Anyway.
Also, possibly Batman kills Joker at the end of that. Because Joker tells like a joke, and Batman just kind of starts laughing at it and putting his hands on his shoulders, like doing that kind of laugh.
It's supposed to look like he's like choking him at the end of it.
It's because it's a him doing that, and it looks like he may actually end up because that people think like him laughing is like him finally breaking. Like you've done this much, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, off of that depressing thing, I still think Cassandra Cain.
She is so cool. She's my favorite Batgirl.
She's really cool.
Because in my mind, Barbara Gordon is Oracle. I prefer her as Oracle.
I think it works best that way.
Now, if they're trying to continue this Gotham Knights where Arkham left off, in the Arkham games, she's Oracle.
In the Arkham games, she's also Batgirl.
Is she?
Yep. There's at least DL like in Arkham Knight. There are challenge maps where you can play as her as Batgirl.
Oh.
I think it's because in some I don't remember how.
I know at least in Arkham Asylum,
she is Oracle.
She is Oracle. He talks to her and says Barbara a couple times as Oracle.
Because I don't remember what the continuity is, how she gets her legs back. But I know at least in certain things, it's in like an experimental surgery that works.
And other times it's just because DC got rebooted. And there's also Stephanie Brown, who was both Robin and Batgirl.
And now is I think
Spoiler. Well, she was Spoiler and then became Robin and then was Batgirl for a little bit and then was Spoiler again.
Spoiler, but is now because Spoiler was kind of an anti-hero / villain, and now she's more just a hero.
Mm-hmm. And now because Barbara Gordon is Oracle or Batgirl against Cassandra Cain is no longer Batgirl. She is Orphan.
If she's even in there sometimes. Because in some continuities, I've seen them both as Batgirl, just a different Batgirl.
Okay.
It's just, but
I
a
loved
lot of times
her costume was cool.
her costume
I
is
loved her costume.
it's so unique because that's one of my biggest problems with Robin is while each of them have different styles, nobody has a set one. So it's a lot of this could be you, or they could just be modernizing it. Well, meanwhile, if you see a Cassandra Cain Batgirl, it's like that's Cassandra Cain.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Back to Gotham Knights.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, we went off on a hell of a tangent. Sorry, everybody. So yeah. Batman is dead, supposedly, at least.
Sends out his thing to his sidekick, so we already mentioned the ones.
I think it showed Alfred getting it also at the beginning.
Alfred may have, but
I'm not sure. But
he's gonna be part of it anyways.
So the playable characters are.
I think I already said it.
You did. I'm restating it. No, excuse me. Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, and Robin. And I cannot fucking wait because there's gonna be co-op!
At the very least, 2-player co-op.
2-player co-op! I have been waiting for so long to play a good Batman co-op game with you.
We have. Rise
No.
of the
No.
That's fair. Lego Batman.
Touche. That wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
I like the Lego games. But like a more... Like this, since
style game.
Since Arkham Asylum came out,
Nothing compares.
I have been wanting an Arkham style co-op Batman game.
Especially because
the closest we came was Arkham Knight, where you had the challenge stuff and everything, and we took turns, and you were playing Nightwing, and I was playing the Batman ones.
I think that was at Arkham City.
That's what I said. What did I say?
A Knight.
Arkham City is what I said.
In Arkham Knight, there actually is something very close to co-op, but it's not co-op in the slightest. There are certain fights that you like Nightwing will be like hanging around somewhere. It's like there's a bunch of goons down there. Mind helping me out? And y'all both go down and start taking them out, and you can hold a button to start switching between them and do like simultaneous takedowns and stuff like that. It's really cool, and there's no option for co-op there. And that
Also,
infuriates
Arkham
me.
Origins came close to co-op. They tried to do a multiplayer mode, which sounded cool.
Apparently, a lot of people actually did play it. I was talking to somebody about that. I just never got people to be able to play it.
Because for any of you that don't know, Arkham Origins had a multiplayer online mode where you had it was kind of like Call of Duty, in the fact that you had two teams, Joker's henchmen.
3v3 or is it 4v4?
I think it may have been 4v4. It might have been 3v3. I don't know. Joker's henchmen and Bane's henchmen were fighting each other.
And if one of them, I think they each had different abilities and stuff, and if one of them either did good enough or if they were doing bad enough, they called in the boss, so somebody would play as Bane and somebody would play as Joker.
Right. While this is going on, you also had where two people would be playing as Batman and Robin and taking out both sides.
So it'd be like 4v4v2. And so
it sounded super cool.
It sounded really cool, if not a little hectic.
Yeah, but I never found anybody playing that. So of course, I think I did get the game a little bit late.
Possibly, but still,
there may not have been anybody playing it at that time.
How are we doing on time?
Hour 3.
Okay, we're doing fine.
Yeah.
All right. I actually don't have much more to say about Gotham Knights.
I'm
super excited about it.
How do you feel about the very high-tech cyberpunk looking style of the weaponry and everything?
I kind of dig it. I kind of really dig it, actually.
I do, but I don't. I love it aesthetically. Mm-hmm. It looks great. At the same time, I'm like, I think
that's because I'm not taking it any further than aesthetically.
That's fair.
I'm not thinking how would that? I'm like, cool.
Also, has Batgirl ever had tonfas before, or is this new? Because I actually dig it.
I feel like it's just okay. Everybody has to have their own weapon.
Yeah, and I get that.
She could just be fists, but then it's it's kind of boring.
But think about it. Nightwing, Dick Grayson, who was Robin while she was Batgirl for a long time, or however long he was Robin nowadays.
It was still usually a while.
He uses Eskrima, which you can use tonfas. You can hold them similarly, but you can also flip them and do
So it makes sense.
So it makes sense that they would be fighting. Each have two handheld weapons and train together and do that.
Especially because they are very close. Engaged.
I have always loved Tim Drake using the bow staff. It is the most well-known Robin weapon.
Oh yeah.
There have even been incarnations of Dick Grayson Teen Titans, the show in
Injustice.
the 2000s. Injustice.
He uses his excrement and puts them
Puts them
together
together
to
as
make
a bow staff. Yeah, which
love
I fucking love that, because he was trained in a bow staff
Oh, he
as well.
absolutely was.
But Tim Drake was just the best at using a bow staff.
Right.
But it's just such an iconic Robin weapon that it can literally be any Robin using the bow staff.
Why we've been having a big debate about whether it's Damian or Tim, because it looks a lot like the hairstyle and the outfit look very Damian Wayne. But the bow staff and a few other things make it seem like it's Tim Drake. And again, the more
Especially
I see
with
it...
tech, because Tim is a hacker. He's very tech savvy. But, so, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to this. We don't have PS5s yet.
I really hope it's on
comes out for
PS4.
both PS4 and PS5.
Was it going to be this early in the PS5's lifespan? I think it's going
a
to...
slight aneurysm?
Yes. I think it should be going to both, because they usually do that.
I really hope so.
But it should be great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to talk more about the Arkham games now, because, like, for a while, there were no real good superhero games. Like,
yeah,
the best
really
we would get...
I think the best superhero game until Arkham Asylum came out was Spider-Man 2.
Probably,
on
that's what I was
PlayStation
going to
2.
say, yeah.
It felt the most like being a superhero.
It captured the essence.
And then you
of
go back and look at Superman 64.
Damn it, I was like, wait, there was one before that. Superman 64.
And then they made an Aquaman game that used the same exact engine.
I don't think they did.
It was in the works.
It was in the works, and they're like, oh, everyone hates Superman? Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down!
Abort! It was a god-awful game. There were some okay, like, Batman platformers that came out here and there. I had a Batman Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah, and the 8-bit
from
and
Batman
16...
the Animated Series, actually, which was cool.
Was it? Yeah, it was.
Yes.
In the 8-bit and 16-bit eras, like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, all that stuff, there were plenty of fine superhero games.
There were some, like... platformers, there were, plenty of those beat 'em ups where you just walk down the street.
Yeah, usually like arcade, like Double Dragon style.
Yeah, Double Dragon. Yeah. We actually I still have a Sega Genesis, and I believe I have a Spider-Man Venom beat 'em up game that you can actually go around.
Terrible at that.
Same, but it's still fun to be Spider-Man and Venom fighting next to each other.
Those are the most basic thing we can do.
Yeah.
We are jumping from platform to platform like a superhero does. And
we are beating people up like a superhero does.
Do you not want to buy our game? No? Oh. But so the Arkham was so very much, a lot of it was, it's a 3D beat 'em up.
There are quite a few superheroes that I would love to see games made for, like, in the style of Arkham. Like, Spider-Man was one of them. Because I remember the day, like, I remember we were talking one night, and I was like, I want to see a Spider-Man game that uses, like, the Arkham system and, like, all the, that. The next morning, you sent me a video of the trailer. You're like, I think this is what you were talking about, and I screamed. I was so excited.
Spider-Man PS4 was an amazing game.
I'm just psychic, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Absolutely.
But and it was so good. Like, Green Arrow. I would love to see a Green Arrow game. Kind of like that. It would be very similar to Batman, but it would have differences.
I feel like it'd be very interesting, focused instead of hand-to-hand combat, it would be mostly ranged combat.
And you could actually, yes, that would be cool. It would definitely do more stealth combat, like ranged takeout sniping and stuff, as opposed to Batman coming up close and taking you out. And you could actually...
almost like an FPS style.
Oh, that would be cool.
That'd be really cool.
You could actually...
Hit us up, Warner Brothers.
You could actually bring the Riddler into that. The Riddler actually had a rivalry going with Green Arrow for a while.
Ah, because the color.
Yeah, that's...
That's it, Adam.
That's it. I don't remember what it was that was going on, but they actually had a bit of a rivalry, which I thought was really cool. I just thought about the Riddler again. Sorry, I love the Riddler. My mind is blank. I would love to see a solo, like, of course we're getting a Nightwing game now. I was going to say, I'd love to see a Nightwing game.
Yeah.
This, do that. But we're getting to play as Nightwing now, which is going to be fun.
Unsatiated.
I have no doubt. As soon as I saw Nightwing, I was like, I have no doubt who Adam is going to play.
Not every time, because depending on how many playthroughs I go through it, I'll get a little tired of Nightwing. But most of them is going to be Nightwing.
Yeah. I'm not sure who I'd rather play. I think my first playthrough will probably be Robin.
I would be
especially if it's Tim
I'd actually be mildly upset if it wasn't.
I would still I wish that we could do co-op as Batman and Nightwing, or even Batman and Dick Grayson Robin.
That would also be really
I
fun.
would, because I've always loved that, because you, from the get-go, have loved
I've always
Robin.
been player 2, so I've always been...
player 2 growing up, yeah.
I've had player 2 syndrome, so I've loved sidekicks and stuff like that, and so I've
you
always
loved
had a
Robin,
connection
and
to
I always
Robin.
loved Batman, and so it worked out very well.
Exactly.
But, so I would love to be able to play as Bruce and Dick together.
Yeah.
That being said, I am still hella down to play any of the other 3 characters, honestly, because I love all of them, and anytime you don't want to be Nightwing, I will hop on as Nightwing.
Yeah, honestly, because I know our first playthrough is probably going to be Nightwing and Robin. While I was talking to Nate,
yeah,
I'll probably
Nate,
be
who we were going to get to be on this
he was going to be
podcast.
on this, but he had to work today,
And
even though I never actually
forgot to ask him.
Yeah, well, don't look at me. He was planning on being
at you.
Red Hood while I was Nightwing.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that.
I just don't want to have to go buy a new system to play this game. I want them to.
I will though.
I know.
I may though. Anyways,
is there anything else you wanted to say about Gotham Knights? Or
that's about it. I want a harder release date and more gameplay footage.
Yes.
That being said, it was announced like a week ago, so I
Yeah.
kind of get it.
I'm so excited for it. I've been in such a Batman mood ever
Yes.
since. I've been listening to a bunch of Batman podcasts
Yeah.
nonstop.
And
then I threw a random Gandalf one in there for no reason. Geek history lesson. They
yeah.
did one on Gandalf, and I was like, Gandalf. All right, back to Batman stuff.
I think that's about it I wanted to talk about from Fandom, especially as all of them.
Fandom, yeah, because most of what we talked about wasn't the Fandom stuff anyway. We went way off for a while.
The Suicide Squad trailer looks good.
It does look good.
Both
I'm curious.
Both the Suicide Squad and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Yeah. I didn't see the Suicide Squad.
It was basically just announcing who was going to be in it and what characters.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that.
It's
yeah,
I'm not going to mention all of them.
Why isn't John Cena King Shark?
I don't know. Probably for face.
Yeah.
More marketing if you see the face.
Who is it he's playing?
I don't remember his name.
And what were some of the...
Peacekeeper, that's what it was.
Who were some of the notable villains or Suicide Squad members that were going to be? I know Harley Quinn, obviously, as Margot Robbie, which is good. She's such
Captain
a good
Boomerang. Let's see, Peacekeeper. Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man! The greatest Batman villain ever.
I don't remember
much
of the names past that, because it's a lot of them I'm not sure about. There's King Shark.
I couldn't remember if you said Riddler for some reason. I was like, that's
no, the Thinker.
Thinker! That was it. Okay.
Yeah. Who was Peter Capaldi, I believe.
Right! I'm excited. I like Peter Capaldi. I was listening to a Riddler podcast before I came and we recorded this. That's why I have Riddler on the brain. I'm sorry. And also, you have to admit the Riddler has style. That the derby bowler cap that he's got, the cane, the question mark suit, the green with a little bit of purple accents. It's a good look.
Which honestly, I think the best time he was ever portrayed, because there's a lot of ways
66.
he was. Sure.
Batman 66.
I was going to say animated series.
It's about the same.
The animated series was better in general, so...
I mean, fair.
But,
of course, 66, he did have the leotard every now and then that he would wear, I think. But it was still green with question marks on it, and he didn't have a ridiculous wig, Jim Carrey. But he had... Because both in 66 and in Batman Forever, they did at least a little bit show that question mark suit. Mm-hmm. Just not as often as in the animated series. Animated series,
the green
it looked great.
suit, anyways.
Oh yes, the green suit looks fantastic. I didn't mind what they did in the Arkham games, where it's like the rolled up sleeve, button up shirt with a vest over it and everything. I like that.
For that one, in Arkham Knight, he's wearing like a Hawaiian shirt with question marks.
Did I say Arkham Knight or just Arkham Games?
Arkham Knight.
I said Arkham Knight?
No, you said Arkham Games.
Okay.
And I was saying except for...
I know at least in,
I
think, Arkham City... He has like that kind of a look. He still had the cane, which looked great, and he had like the fingerless gloves, which was good.
But
I like the Riddler. He's a cool guy.
Because like they had to kind of up his annoyance, in my opinion, in the Arkham games, because it's very much like, Batman, you think you're clever for solving that? You told me where to go and I found a trophy. What do you want from me?
I wish they had used him better. I wish they had used him for a compelling story.
He's the secret final boss in Arkham Knight.
What?
He's the secret final boss in the mech. I'm not kidding. You team up with Catwoman to beat the shit out of him.
They hushed him?
In a mech?
Kind of, but...
No, it's very much Riddler. It's just you solve all the stuff.
No, in For those of you who don't know, the animated Batman Hush movie that came out in the continuity that they've got going on, I guess now,
which has actually been rebooted.
Okay.
After Apocalypse War.
Okay. Was that Dark Justice
League Dark Apocalypse War, but it was more Justice League than Justice League Dark.
I've been meaning to watch that. In the original Hush storyline, like we said, Riddler was kind of pulling the strings and working with Hush, but Hush was not the Riddler. In the animated one, he was the Riddler. He was like
something happened and he had more.
They combined like two storylines because I actually heard about a storyline. Excuse me, earlier today where he actually got injected with venom, Bane's venom, and for whatever reason, it actually took his intellect down some, but made him like strong and everything because he's leaving these clues, and even Commissioner Gordon was able to solve them, and he's like, these are too easy. What's going on? So they checked it out, and he was just like beating the shit out of people, but not being as smart. But it's like they kind of combined that with Hush.
Actually, I think because I want to say that they in the Hush one, it upped his intelligence was upped.
Yeah. But he was stronger though. So it like combined them, but didn't because he also I don't know. It was weird. Riddler's been just slept on a lot. A lot of Batman villains have a lot of even good ones don't have a lot of great storylines.
What's funny,
he actually ended up getting a lot of tattoos at one point in his I don't remember when, but they said he got all tattooed up and stuff.
In the Harley Quinn animated show, he's a big part of it.
Oh, I've been meaning to watch that.
He's so dumb and I love him.
Really?
He's not like an idiot dumb, but
it's more like 66 camp dumb, or
it's kind of I'm better than you, and this is all boring to me. And voiced by the dean in Community.
Oh, really?
So he talks like this.
I actually kind of like that.
It's a lot of that, like at one point it kind of goes into the No Man's Land storyline where it's like.
I actually am very interested in that storyline. I've been hearing about it on the podcast, where it's essentially what they try to do in Dark Knight Rises with the football field, where it's the earthquake, and they're trying to. But instead, it's just an actual earthquake and not something that Bane did, and it's just like this one part of Gotham that's just got a cannon around it and isolated, and they ended up putting a wall up around it to keep them in. Start singing Attack on Titan theme. But that's actually an interesting storyline that I want to...
Yeah. But in Harley Quinn, shit goes down, and basically a lot of different villains have their part of Gotham.
Yeah.
And his part is a college. It's a college where he kind of extorts his students.
Wait, no. Is it No Man's Land? I'm thinking of something else.
No Man's Land where like most of it gets destroyed. And it's mostly destroyed, but each one still has their part, which they build up in different stuff.
That I do remember, which kind of reminded me of Arkham City. A little bit.
Arkham City was more of a, hey, we're taking this old slums.
Yeah. But each person, the main villains in it had their own like parts,
territory,
had their own territory in Gotham.
And
City,
it's kind of like that. But Riddler's the Harley Quinn show likes to take the villains and make them comedically one note, where he is very much like, I'm smarter than you, and I'm gonna. Anything you say is dumb.
Right.
And Bane is a big boy who likes to blow things up.
Oh, does he talk like in Dark Knight Rises?
This, but it's almost exactly like that. not like this, but actually like this. Bane is my favorite character in the show. He's hilarious because there's one guy just like he's at a smoothie shop and it's like smoothie for Brian. It's Bane! You know this! I come here every day! I'll blow you up, Timmy! It's so dumb, he's an idiot, and I love him.
Oh, gosh, that's awesome.
And then he actually ends up blowing up the smoothie shop, and just, ha! Oh, Timmy didn't work today.
I've got to watch that show, because first off,
who
doesn't love Harley Quinn?
It's so good, and it shows the Joker's a toxic relationship so well.
Yes. All right, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Where did you first meet Batman?
That's hard.
I know.
I want to say it was Batman the Animated Series on VHSs we got from the library.
that makes sense for you, because I was into Batman before, while you were still young and everything. I want to say I first got into him, Batman 66, watching it with Dad.
That wouldn't surprise me either.
Is probably either that or like watching Super Friends or something like that, or Batman or Scooby-Doo meets Batman. It was one of those old things. It was definitely an older thing, because we didn't watch Batman the Animated Series till we got a little bit older and we started renting stuff from or checking stuff out from the library, because our library had a couple VHSs of some episode compilations of Batman the Animated Series that had to do with certain, there was one that was just about the Riddler, episodes about the Riddler, one was about the Joker, one was about Robin, actually, and it had the one with his origin, the episodes with his origin story, which was really good. And so, for whatever reason, when they had them on VHS, they were called Batman and Robin Adventures or something like that. It had a completely different name.
Batman the Animated Series had
Batman the Animated Series for 3 seasons.
So many names.
The 4th season was The New Adventures of Batman, which was still Batman the Animated Series. They just changed the name.
And the animation.
And somewhat.
Or at least character designs.
They changed some character designs, but the animation was still largely the same.
That's more of what I meant.
The animation style, because they still had the broad shoulders and all of that.
Beastie Boys.
Yeah. But, and then they, when it was on, when it was released on DVD or whatever, on those compilations at least, it was The Adventures of Batman and Robin or something like that. And it was why do you keep changing the name?
Maybe it was a different territory, maybe in Canada it was called that or something?
I don't know.
Or maybe there was licensing issues?
Maybe.
I have no idea.
I don't know. But, yeah, that doesn't surprise me that we saw them there, so, yeah.
Well, on one of those, do you want to talk about the Batman 66 or the animated series?
Sure.
Which? That didn't help.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Oh my god, Batman, the movie.
Love that movie and that show unabashedly. I will support that. Batman 66, Adam West, rest in peace, you beautiful Bat Daddy. I had to throw Bat Daddy in here somewhere. Wowie zowie.
I loved it when I was a kid. I thought it was just great. And then I went through a small kick, probably
you get your teenager and you're like, oh, so dumb. It's for
kids. Somebody's like, it's not as good as I remember it, probably. And I watched a little bit. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. Why would I? And then I realized, oh, this is 1, not meant to be taken seriously. 2, a good interpretation of the Silver Age, and 3 for stoners.
It's actually a pretty good representation of what the Silver Age of comics was.
And so now, anytime I watch it, and I'm like, I don't take it seriously, it's some of the best times.
It is so fun to just watch and not take. If you're not taking it seriously, it is a fun, hilarious trip to take.
There is no logical reason.
I own the first season.
Right.
And I went back and watched it with our dad, who I grew up watching that with, and he grew up watching that. I went back and watched it with him a while back, and we just laughed our asses off at every episode because it's so stupidly funny. And there are some great lines, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I love that.
That's the best line.
There is no logical reason you should have shark repellent in a helicopter. And yet he does
that, and the fact that everything is labeled Bat something. It's not just the computer, which it's always the Bat computer, but it's not just shark repellent that's randomly in a helicopter. It's Bat shark repellent that's randomly in a helicopter. It's the Bat ionic infuser. I saw
a joke one time, like, oh crap, I think it's out of batteries. What are Uris?
It's a very clean show. It's such a good, wholesome, fun Batman show. I will recommend this to any Batman fans.
It never tries to be like, oh, it's good, and then we're doing an episode that's dark and serious.
No, it's just...
no, that's not what we're here for.
And it's always showing Batman and Robin being safe, buckling up. If Batman is investigating something and goes to a bar, he orders a glass of milk. Oh my God, he does. Anytime he's at a bar, which is hilarious. And they're trying to teach moral lessons in them to kids through Robin.
Never goes undercover at a bar. He's just dressed up as Batman.
And then let us never forget the Bat...
the dance!
The Bat dance. He gets the cape and he's just...
Oh my God.
It's such a beautiful show, Adam. I will always love that show. show.
It's so good.
You better believe that's going to be one of the things that I'm watching when I'm 80 and retire
yeah.
about that, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
It's such a good concept because, like, hey, we can't, like, at the time, I would have been like, all right, cool, but, well, no, I guess at the time it was Silver Age.
It's great because as a kid, you're actually taking these things seriously because it's every episode's a 2-part episode, essentially, and after it, it's like, will Batman and Robin survive? Will they manage a daring escape? Find out next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. And it's like, as a kid, you're like, oh my gosh, are they going to get out of this or not? And then as an adult, you're just like, psh.
They're holding you together with rope, sir. That's hardly a rope, it's a cord.
It's a cord. They have tried to glue you to this conveyor belt with wood glue. You are not made of wood. You are not stuck.
You're wearing an outfit. Sir, if you must get naked to stop crime.
I just kicked the table. I'm
you
sorry.
must get naked to stop crime. But, like,
leave the hood on. Leave the cowl on.
You must protect the secret identity.
Leave the cowl and the cape.
Ugh.
Everything else must go.
But on the opposite end of the spectrum, Batman the Animated Series is one of the best animated series of all time. Is the best superhero show of all time.
If you're looking for a more... It is the best adaptation of Batman. While I love Batman 66 and will for the rest of my life, that is
a Silver Age.
It is the pinnacle of what the Silver Age was. Batman the Animated Series is the pinnacle of what Batman is.
Right.
It
can get goofy. It can get fun.
Exactly. It gets goofy and fun, especially the Joker episodes. They are goofy, and he can't kill anybody on screen or with blood or anything, but he uses the Joker gas is more terrifying.
The workarounds
they made were fucking phenomenal.
Oh,
but it gets goofy at times. It gets super emotional and dramatic at times. It is such a good... I lost portrayal of what Batman in general is. You cannot beat Batman the Animated Series. I finally own the entire series.
Finally.
And Batman Mask of the Phantasm and Sub-Zero, which is one of the movies that came out of that.
Yeah.
Another one is Batman Mystery of the Batwoman. I don't own that one, but that one's good.
I've never actually watched that one.
I remember watching it once and being like, oh, this is stupid. It's Batwoman. It's whatever.
Oh, no,
it's Batgirl, not Batwoman.
Oh, it's an actual character. Oh, no.
Yeah, now I know it's an actual character. I'm like, oh. Okay, now I actually want to go back and watch. Of course, in that one, it's like 3 different women, and it's not supposed to be. But, anyway, spoilers for Mystery of the Batwoman, I guess. But I still have not watched through all of Batman the Animated Series. I've been started watching it, like, in bed and, like, watching through it some. I'm still in season 1 because I have my TV has a built-in DVD player, but I don't have the remote, and I cannot actually hit play. I can't get it to actually play unless I have a remote, which sucks.
Plug it to PlayStation.
It also depends on if I'm willing to move my PlayStation from the living room in there, because I have it in there because our dad likes to play Red Dead Redemption. And then I play anything. I play lots of things. But so I have to move it back and forth, and that gets annoying. Right. But anyway.
What were we? It's a great show. First of all, like I think it's the 4th season that introduces Nightwing.
The 4th season when it becomes the New Adventures of Batman. Mullet Wing. I was gonna ask, do you like the mullet?
I do. I don't like it all the time. I think it works good in that animation style, especially because he's kind of the.
I like
getting
it
out
better
of his moody teenager phase.
I like it better than the long hair that Nightwing has in the episode in Teen Titans.
Yeah, not the biggest fan of that.
I'm not the biggest fan of that hairstyle, so I definitely like the mullet better. But I'm still like, oh, it's a mullet.
It's a mullet. It's like it's fine for the show. If they start, anytime I see it outside that's not using the Batman the Animated Series animation style, I'm like, please no.
Somewhat longer hair is okay, but no.
Yeah.
But
apparently he had a ponytail at one point.
Really?
Yeah. Like that was in like disco wing phase.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just such a great show. Some of the best performances of Batman and a lot of the characters ever Kevin Conroy is the definitive voice of Batman, and he was Batman. The fact that they keep bringing him back for things as often as they can.
He's basically said multiple times, like, I'm done with Batman.
So did Mark Hamill, and they keep bringing him back.
They keep bringing both of them back, like, one more time. Okay, one more.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that they absolutely love
it, but it's also
roles.
like, hey, we gotta...
And they are the most iconic voices of those roles we've ever had.
100%.
Other than Adam West as Batman. Because he not only played Batman live action in the 66, he also voiced Batman in several cartoons, including, I don't know if Super Friends or not. I know in Batman, Scooby-Doo Meets Batman, it was Adam West. In some old Batman cartoons, it was Adam West. And Casey Kasem, who is the voice of Shaggy, was Robin for a while.
Yeah, I remember that.
I know he was Robin in the Batman versus... Scooby-Doo Meets Batman. I'm having such a hard time with that.
You're good. There's a lot of titles we're throwing around right now. But
Adam West is an iconic voice actor,
and he's pretty Silver Age Batman voice.
Best silly Silver Age hero voice, and especially Batman. But Kevin Conroy encapsulates Batman so much more than anybody else ever did, and I love it. Okay, we're at an hour and a half, so I think we're about to wrap this up. Everything. I do have one more question for you. Okay, what is your favorite Batman movie of all time?
Oh, don't do this to me.
Any Batman movie.
We can count animated?
Yes.
Good. All right. What's yours? I need to think. I actually don't know.
Under the Red Hood.
I forgot about that movie. I never forget about that movie.
That is my favorite. Not only my favorite DC animated movie, my favorite Batman movie of all time.
Would we count Justice League movies?
Yeah.
Because I think
sure
a good case is Justice League Doom.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of my favorites, for sure. But I like Batman Under the Red Hood better.
Fair.
While you're thinking, do you want me to talk about Under the Red Hood a little bit?
Because I think mine's probably going to be the same.
So Under the Red Hood is taken from the Under the Hood storyline from the comics, which is where, well, it takes Death in the Family. It starts out with the Death in the Family, where Joker...
Well, that was technically a completely different storyline. But...
the
opening
movie.
Scenes. Okay,
the movie starts with Death in the Family.
I thought you were talking about the comic line.
Shut the fuck up and let me talk. I'm kidding. So, the movie starts with Joker beating the absolute shit out of Jason Todd
Tim
Robin.
Drake's dead!
Not my boy! And then he blows up. And then it skips to years later. And this guy in a leather jacket and a motorcycle helmet, wielding some guns, shows up and takes over the crime in Gotham.
Calling himself Red Hood, which is the moniker that Joker used to use before he was Joker.
Yes, I was getting to that. But yes, he calls himself Red Hood and takes cuts, too, from all the drug dealing and everything, but cleans up what's going on. He does not let them...
If I see you near a school, you're dead.
Yeah. Also, worth mentioning, Red Hood is voiced by Jensen Ackles, and it is such a great portrayal. Jensen Ackles fucking kills that role and will always be Red Hood in my mind when he's not Dean Winchester from Supernatural.
I also love that movie because Nightwing's in it, played by Neil Patrick Harris.
Who some people don't like.
I dig it. It's fun.
I enjoyed him.
Especially for his character design and what he is supposed to be comedic relief for the story and just kind of fun, playful. He works perfectly.
I want Neil Patrick Harris to do more voice acting. I think he has a very good voice for it. I love him as Barney Stinson. And How I Met Your Mother. It's great. You need to finish watching that.
I do.
But so he shows up, this Red Hood fella, and Batman's trying to figure out who the fuck he is and what he's doing, and he is has actually planned everything out pretty well because he is encroaching on Black Mask's territory and like fucking up his drug deals and everything. And trying to make him desperate, which he does. Desperate enough to enlist the help of the Joker.
Played by
John DiMaggio.
Yeah.
Fucking Bender from Futurama. Jake the dog in Adventure Time.
He was Aquaman in Batman the Brave and the Bold.
I forgot about that. He's always talking about, this will be a great story. I love it.
I don't remember the exact words he uses, but it was like a very specific cadence, and I loved it.
He's
fantastic. He's a
fantastic voice actor. He's been in all kind of shit.
And really did a good job as Joker.
He brings it as Joker and is a very good creepy chaotic Joker, and I love it so much. He will never outdo Mark Hamill. Don't get me wrong. Mark Hamill is Joker.
What makes him best is he's not trying to.
No,
I've heard a lot of Joker voice actors that are
like,
what was it? Troy Baker,
who does a incredible impression of Mark Hamill's Joker.
Props to him.
He's a very good young Mark Hamill Joker, which he does in Arkham Origins.
Right,
which is great.
and so if you're looking for
John DiMaggio,
if you're looking for one that's doing we want to get as close to Mark Hamill as we can, but we can't either afford him or he wouldn't do it. Troy Baker's the way to go.
Or this is not... Troy Baker is yes.
But
this is not even trying to be Mark Hamill Joker.
Has a deeper voice. It's not quite as crazy
It's clearly just more of a John DiMaggio voice that he's just put a little crazy into. But he fucking kills the role. I absolutely love him so much. He's a great... And I still quote... One of the lines I still quote to you to this day is, "Party pooper, no cake for you."
I love that.
I love it so much. And you find out through a series of events, spoilers, I guess, for Under the Red Hood. Mm-hmm. If you don't know who Jason Todd is, even though we've talked about him, Red Hood is, he turns out to be Jason Todd. And he's pissed
the Robin
off.
That was killed.
He's pissed off because Batman did not kill Joker. Everyone else, he doesn't care about. But Joker killed him, and he is offended and pissed off that Bruce did not get revenge.
He was revived by the Lazarus Pit, by the way.
In this one, they simplify the story a lot, and his backstory a lot in this one, to where Ra's felt bad, because Ra's...
It wasn't necessarily... It was a little bit of a feeling bad, but also hey...
Trying to right a wrong.
Can we see if this works?
Yeah, that as well. Because he hired the Joker to get Batman off of his trail while he was trying to do something, and Joker went nuts and killed Robin.
Went too far.
Yeah, and so he used the Lazarus Pit to try to bring Jason Todd back, and it worked. He went crazy for a little while, but when he's Red Hood, he's got most of his mental facilities back. Mm-hmm. But he's just like... He's still a
little fucked up.
A little fucked... I mean, PTSD is a bitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's fucked up. But Ra's is like, I messed up and I tried to fix it. And...
worse, but...
Sorry. But it's a great storyline. And I love the confrontation between Jason and Bruce when he's like, why on God's green earth is this fucker still alive? He doesn't say that. Why is this piece of filth still alive?
I'm not asking you to kill Dent, not Riddler... Not Penguin, just him.
Just him.
Because he took me from you.
Yes, and it's just like...
Why? Because it'd be too hard to do it?
No, he's like, I know all... It's like, you've never understood. Oh, I know all about your moral code and how it's just too hard for you to kill. He's like, no, God almighty, no. It would be too damned easy. I'm getting chills saying this, by the way.
That's such a good performance.
If I go down to that role... Batman fully admits he's a psychopath. Underneath, he's kind of a Batman is kind of a psychopath.
He's got mental issues. That's why he's running around dressed as a bat.
And he admits it would be too easy to kill him. I am so mad at him. I think every day of ways that I could dish out the torture that he has put on everyone onto him. Every imaginable means of torture back on him and then end it. But if I go to that point, I'm never coming back. Mm-hmm. And Gotham needs Batman.
Yeah. I'm not going to spoil how everything gets resolved, because if you guys do want to see that,
we'll leave kind of after that.
I really recommend it.
I had to bring up that line. That is one of my favorite Batman lines of all time, along with a line from Justice League Doom. But unless you want me to say that one,
go for it.
Okay,
because I'm actually going to say Justice League Doom is mine. I think I like Under the Red Hood better, but I want to talk about something else.
And that's fine. Justice League Doom is fantastic. There are some really good. Dark Knight, the Heath Ledger, Christian Bale Dark Knight is in my top 10 for sure.
I need to rewatch the Christopher Nolan trilogy because I'm now on the I think they're overrated train, and I think that may just be because I've heard people talk about them so long, and I've watched them for so long.
Dark Knight is fantastic.
I cannot deny Dark Knight's great.
Dark Knight Rises, I don't like. I don't like what they did with Bane. I just don't like most of that movie, unfortunately. Batman Begins, I will support. I enjoyed it. It was a good
I'm so sick of origin movies at this point. That
Yes,
it's like,
but we had, other than animated ones, we hadn't really had an origin story movie for Batman.
And that's fair. And it's like...
and Batman Begins did a very good job, and I liked...
When it came out, we hadn't seen one in a while, so I'm like, it's okay for it, but now it's just such a... I'm so burnt out on them that even though it's like, this at the time was fine, it's still like, no.
I also like that they didn't try to start with Joker. They started with Scarecrow.
Yes.
Who was really cool. And I thought they did him really well.
I thought they did him very good.
Who's another one of my favorite Batman villains. He's dope. I will support Batman Begins. Dark Knight is clearly a very good movie. It is a fantastic movie. Heath Ledger. I was unsure about him playing the Joker. Not going to be...
I'd never heard of him before, so I had no reservations.
I had seen him in one or two things before, but not much. I've gone back and watched a couple other of his stuff now, and he's just such a good actor. He's so good. Oh, my God. I wasn't sure about him, and I was just like, okay. He won... Such a good performance that he won a posthumous Oscar for it. And, like, oh, my God. Nothing will ever compare to that performance. It was incredible. But... back to Justice League.
I don't know. Jared Leto. I can't even finish that sentence. Continue, I'm sorry.
No, I need you to feel this.
We hate Jared Leto Joker. We hate him.
Oh, he's just the worst.
Anyways. The one downside, I will, I guess, for a quick synopsis of Justice League Doom, it's basically... somebody gets hold of Batman's files and finds out he has a contingency to kill every one of the Justice League members should they go rogue.
I like seeing that side of Batman, being prepared for any eventuality, having a plan in place for if any Justice League member were ever to be under mind control or just start going mad with power or something. It's really, really good.
Which is one of the reasons I don't like the movie. Because it really gave birth to a lot of people like, Batman can't lose. He has a contingency for everything. And it's like, they put him on this pedestal.
He does, but he can still lose.
But he doesn't have a contingency for, quote-unquote, everything. Like, he is a very brilliant mind that has a lot of things planned out. But, like, it's one of those, like, they hold him up now on this pedestal, like, you can't catch Batman unaware. There's nothing you can do to stop Batman's things, and like, Batman is the best because of this and that, and it's like...
you can still catch him off guard.
Exactly, and it's like, that's why I'm like, you need to take that down a notch. I understand where you're coming from.
Selena Kyle, Catwoman, for instance, is one of the best at getting his guard down and then slipping away again.
Right. But
some of that has to do with, feminine wiles, but...
Yeah. But just that whole Batman has a contingency for everything, it's like, he has a contingency for a lot. Everything is a stretch.
Not everything. He has contingency for most heroes if they went bad.
Right.
He doesn't have a contingency for everything. But most notably Superman. He always carries kryptonite with him just in case.
Which, I mean, that's the one you kind of need to.
Because Superman's kind of unbeatable unless you have magic.
There are a few of them that, like, if they go rogue, you have a day, and then it starts getting serious.
Yeah.
You have seconds before it's cataclysmic with Superman.
Like, look at Injustice. As soon as he found out that the Joker killed Lois Lane, Joker was dead. He immediately killed Joker.
It wasn't immediately. He got basically got him into interrogation, and Joker was just taunting him because you won't do hand through the heart. So it was a little bit, but it was like... There is not much unless you were already there to stop him. So, yeah. But Justice League Doom is super good. It just shows Batman trying to figure out how to undo all his plans. It's really good. I like that one.
It also is. It's interesting seeing Batman's contingency plans, which are non-lethal plans, tweaked to become lethal.
I don't know about all of those because. Superman was a kryptonite bullet.
Well, no, Batman's contingency for Superman is just kryptonite until he can calm him down.
It doesn't tell us the actual thing, so I don't know how much they were perverted. Yeah.
So, I don't know. But, one of my favorite Batman lines from that movie. They find out at one point that, hey, like, what is happening? And Batman, like, whose plans were these? Batman's like, yeah, those are mine.
Yeah, they're mine.
They're mine. I'll take responsibility. And they're like, why? And he's like, well, I had to make sure there was, in case one of you got too much power or somebody was mind controlled or something.
Yeah,
there had to be a way to stop you. All of my plans were non-lethal. They made them lethal. But these were my plans. Mm-hmm. And they kick him out of the Justice League.
They do not. He quits.
Oh, yeah.
Because they keep berating him. They're like,
I don't know if we can trust you.
Yeah, we have to be trusted. Like, this is why this is why. Because you guys don't believe you'll go evil. This is why I needed these. Mm-hmm. And then I think it's Superman.
Superman follows him to do the boom tube or whatever to let him go. And he's like, so, you had a contingency for everybody. And he's like, yes. And he's like, what about Batman? What plan did you have for you? And he goes, that's the Justice League. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh my god. It's so
I am
good.
Great. I am smart. I'm a man. Y'all gods. Take me out, son.
Just fucking end me if you have to. I don't know. Anything else in particular about Batman you want to talk about?
So much that I haven't talked about. Like, half the villains need a better spotlight.
Can you name all 6 Robins?
Yes, there is Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, this is in no particular order, Damian Wayne, Carrie Kelly, and Stephanie Brown.
Mm-hmm. And really, all you got out of order was you just put Stephanie Brown, switch her and Damian, and that's pretty much the order. Because she was back... At one point, Tim's dad finds out that he's Robin, because his dad was still alive but paralyzed for a while. He finds out that he's Robin and just basically is like, no, sir. Not doing this anymore. And doesn't let him... Tim actually ends up quitting being Robin for quite a few times, but it's always only for like a week until he's like, God damn it. Batman needs a Robin. I have to do something. But he quits at one point, and Stephanie Brown, who was a love interest for him for a little bit, shows up to be Robin, and Batman's like, all right, you disobey one of my orders, and you're done. Which she almost immediately disobeys an order, goes off and does a thing, and he's like, no, not anymore. And then she goes and is spoiler or whatever, and then Barbara Gordon gets paralyzed, and she becomes Batgirl for a little bit, and then goes to be spoiler again, I think. I don't really remember. And then Cassandra Cain shows up at some point. But yeah, Stephanie Brown was Robin, if only for a little bit, before Damian.
Yeah.
And that's only because she just went and put on a suit and showed up as Robin. He was like...
All right, cool. This is the best audition I've had yet. Let's go.
I know. I think Tim Drake actually had to go for 6 months of training before Batman would let him go out on patrol. And
I heard Dick Grayson did that.
6 months. Yeah, Dick Grayson.
And then he had to pass the final test, which was go an entire night undetected by Batman.
Tim Drake went an entire night undetected.
I heard it was Dick Grayson.
I heard Tim Drake.
Maybe it was both.
Maybe both. I don't know. I heard Tim... at least one of them went the entire night without being caught by Batman and actually still thwarted a couple crimes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, that's awesome.
You're hearing the dog again.
Yeah, we're almost done. There's so much to talk about Batman. Like, it's a lot for one podcast, which is why this is almost getting close to 2 hours now.
Again? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is the new norm. Congrats.
Yeah. But, I don't think I have anything else to talk about at the moment. And we may end up doing a Batman Part 2 and just talking about more stuff from Batman.
Honestly, may, because we didn't even mention Batman Beyond.
Oh, yes, Batman Beyond!
So good. But I think we're going to end it today.
Yes. Oh, man, I'm exhausted.
I'm so tired from talking so much.
Oh, man.
Oh, thank you guys for listening, though. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. I hope you love Batman as much as we do, and by extension, the Batman family. Adam.
Yeah! I love the Batman family.
Let us know in the comments if you're excited for the Batman, the movie, the Robert Pattinson movie, the Gotham Knights, if you've seen that, if you're excited about that. Let us know what your favorite Batman, show movie moment. Who your favorite Bat family member is. Robin. We didn't even talk about Alfred hardly in this.
Oh my gosh, we didn't!
Alfred is huge.
I hate myself.
Let us know, who your favorite...
Before we go, there's one thing about Alfred I want to mention. Yes. 2 things about Alfred. Okay, no, just 2. Alright, so one is in the Injustice storyline. Superman comes to kill Batman. And there's a serum in the comics, at least, where basically it makes basically regular humans, superhumans, so they
Yes,
can, so they can go up
that.
against, like, that's how Batman is able to fight Superman in the video game and stuff.
I think Damian got injected with that in one storyline.
They all, basically
somewhere.
anybody that's in the Injustice universe pretty much can.
Okay.
But Alfred has it at one point, and Superman comes to kill Batman, and Alfred beats the shit out of him. Basically, just first of all, just headbutting him, breaking his nose, and doing like other stuff where it's like, I'm not letting you hurt my family anymore.
Oh!
It's so beautiful. And
Alfred.
there's another one where somebody breaks into the Batcave, and there's just this single panel that's just Alfred loading a shotgun. Just, I'm assuming you came here on my master's, counting on my master's basically no killing rule. Click. I assume I subscribe to no such niceties. As he loads the
Alfred
shotgun.
is such a badass, and I
Alfred
love
was
it.
the Secret Services.
I love how sassy he is too. There's an April Fool's episode of Batman the Animated Series.
I remember
At the
that.
beginning of it, Alfred comes up, "Sir, I drew you a bath," and Bruce is like, "All right, thank you, Alfred." And he goes and
Walks into
Alfred, there's no water in the tub. "Yes, sir. I said I drew you a bath." And
He
holds up
holds
a
up a
drawing of a
notepad.
bathtub. And I'm just like, Alfred, you sassy bitch. I love you.
Oh, okay, that's gonna be it.
Alfred
though. It's
is
gonna be it.
so good.
Alfred's great. I have so much to say about him that I'm not gonna.
I let us know if you want us to do a part 2. We'll probably do a part 2. But like that, definitely let us know. If you don't want to hear any more about Batman, then that's fine. We won't. But please comment. Let us know what you think. Give us suggestions for other
give us
other podcast episodes you want us to do. Whether it's other superheroes, other Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Just any other. Doctor Who, whatever. Like we're down to do a podcast about literally anything. That was the premise of our podcast.
Yeah, we're talking.
We're just wanting to do podcast episodes about anything that we like or anything that's requested. We'll especially if we know anything about it. If not, we'll probably try to do some research on it and whatever. But just let us know what you would like to hear us do a podcast about in the future. We would love to get feedback from you and let us know that you're listening and that you're enjoying it because. Essentially, yes, we're having a good time, but that's what we're doing this for, is for you guys. Yeah. Anytime, if you're at work, want to listen to a podcast, or just need cheering up, we're usually pretty dumb and easy to laugh at. So, we're here for you. Just let us know what you want to hear, because that's what this is for.
Exactly.
So, hope you enjoyed listening, and
we love you.
Stay weird, and we'll see you next time.